Believe it or not, I really think a new CS title could borrow a lot of ideas from the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare. My name is Brayden, and welcome to Valve Guides. Now, if you are one of those lovely people who chilled with me last Tuesday while I played Modern Warfare on stream on this channel, I know, I'm sorry, I wanted to. It really was a blast. The inspiration behind this derived from the rabbit trail that playing Modern Warfare sent my mind down, so here it is, 5 things that a new Counter-Strike title could learn from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Number 5, pure classic shooter gameplay is what the consumers want. If Modern Warfare has proven anything to me, it's that the classic shooters are not dead. The industry just thought they were. Or the industry focused too much on creating different worlds and crazy marketable features that it forgot its roots.
Zombies in Spaceland.
And while industry icons usually claim to go back to their roots, this is often an empty promise. However, upon sitting down and actually playing Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward has truly delivered on this promise. I felt like a kid again hopping onto multiplayer, from the voice chat alone into the vibe and gunplay. Everything was so simple, nostalgic, and smooth. Infinity Ward is somehow creating the COD culture that we all miss and loved.
Dude, do you think anyone's actually gonna fall for this right here?
While some of it is toxic, we like it that way. It keeps it interesting.
I'm on PC, bro. $2,000, buddy. 2,000. What's up?
My personal vision for a possible newer playstyle in Counter-Strike aligns more with the likes of Insurgency Sandstorm. It's new, modern, hardcore, and can be tweaked to the needs of a Counter-Strike title. It's a super non-complete idea of what a new CS could look like, but it encompasses the idea that I'm trying to get at. At the very core of it all, Call of Duty Modern Warfare revamped everything, using an entirely new engine, new gunplay mechanics that are completely new to Call of Duty, yet somehow feel so reminiscent of what I thought COD 4 felt like, which it really wasn't, but it somehow makes me feel like it. This is what impresses me the most, because after all of what I've just said, Modern Warfare is the fundamentally newest Call of Duty we have seen, yet is the most familiar new title to ever be released in the series.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Number 4, you don't need Battle Royale. Now, while I fully believe the addition of Battle Royale to Modern Warfare is relatively likely, it didn't launch with Battle Royale, which I believe to be an extremely revealing factor in the success of the launch of the game. Think about that. It did not rely on the idea of Battle Royale to sell itself whatsoever. CSGO certainly tried to make a Battle Royale style game, and it wasn't fun at all. It doesn't mesh with the mechanics of the game whatsoever, and that being said, Infinity Ward has shown that Valve doesn't need to be distracted with any obligation to produce a game with Battle Royale. They need to focus on producing a game that can stand on its own 2 legs. Those 2 legs need to be a reinvention of the Counter-Strike genre of shooters. And as we just talked about, Modern Warfare has proven that you can overhaul everything while staying true to your roots. I'm not saying it's easy whatsoever or have a perfect roadmap on what Valve could do in order to accomplish this. I imagine it'll be a very difficult and hefty task, and it would take an inspired and talented team of devs, but it can be done, and I've got my fingers crossed for the idea. Number 3, effort into non-competitive game modes is worth it.
Who cares about free-to-play if the way that casual is built is terrible? The whole system is just flawed.
Counter-Strike doesn't have the greatest history of non-competitive or arcadey game modes, but I really think that the game could benefit from a much more proactive support from Valve. Where Counter-Strike's major difference lies between Modern Warfare and itself is primarily its PC player base. The modding and custom mode community is massive, even though it has such little support. I think CSGO could have an even better arcade mode culture than Call of Duty if Valve were to really focus down and invest themselves heavily into raising the third-party modes and mod communities into first-party integration by hosting events that have heart and talent all around them. It could really see an improved culture everywhere. The main reason this probably hasn't been done is the amount of focus that the pro scene does require in order to maintain, which is understandable. Maybe Valve could outsource these kind of ideas and events to another studio who would be solely dedicated to these community game modes and events. I know I've been saying this for a while, but I really think that a CS game would benefit from this kind of support and community-driven content. Number 2, crossplay is the future. My favorite non-mechanic oriented feature of Modern Warfare is the seamless crossplay. I was able to play a game that already had me reminiscing about my childhood with one of my childhood best friends who I'd never played with on anything other than split screen because we'd always had different platforms. It only added new layers of childish joy to playing the game, which is the main driving factor in why I loved it so much. I can't explain it to y'all. I got to play with one of my best childhood friends online for the first time without having to use a darn controller. That's liberating, y'all. I loved it. Now, listen, I know for competitive play, this isn't a viable option for a Counter-Strike title, but imagine more custom third-party map and sandbox modes between platforms, like I mentioned previously. Kind of like a new polished Garry's Mod type thing with crisp mechanics and beautiful visuals. It could set off a new era on YouTube and Twitch that is still somehow reminiscent of what many would consider to be the good old days of gaming YouTube with funny moments and those kind of things. Exactly how Modern Warfare was for the Call of Duty series. Of course, this is all best case scenario, and I doubt it will ever see the light of day, but the thought is glorious. Number 1, single player FPS campaigns can still be compelling.
Where do we draw the line, sir?
You draw the line
No, sir! Stop!
wherever you need it.
Counter-Strike Condition Zero was the last single-player effort on the Counter-Strike series. While it wasn't necessarily for its time, it's completely outdated now. Completely. That being said, even Call of Duty, a series renowned for their single-player campaigns, has been slacking in this category and eventually just cut the idea entirely with Black Ops 4. Most new FPS games don't have single-player campaigns anymore. Modern Warfare once again said no to the current trends and came with an unbelievably cinematic and nostalgic single-player experience. And it's just good. Unlike recent installments in the series, it pulled very few punches, with the first couple of hours of gameplay having several equally, if not more controversial moments than No Russian. Like, it got intense and uncomfortable. So all of that being said, I really don't know what a new Counter-Strike campaign could look like. I really don't. I just have a good feeling about the potential of it. The scary part of it all is how easily they could make an empty, uninspired single player with the type of gameplay that CSGO has. However, I think if the tone of a new CS title were to borrow from the likes of Insurgency Sandstorm, a gritty and compelling single player experience is not too far-fetched. Well, there you have it, my personal rabbit trail inspired by Modern Warfare. Am I crazy? What do you agree or disagree with? Let me know in the comment section. And also let me know if you want to see more streams on the channel. I personally had so much fun and would love to do it again. I want to get Joe streaming some CSGO for y'all on a regular basis, and I would love to stream more Modern Warfare if you guys are on board with the idea. Is streaming other games too jarring? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. It's been a pleasure, y'all. Stay amazing, and I will see you next time.